Hey guys, welcome back here to Intuitive Angling, and appreciate you guys hanging out with me a little bit, swinging by the channel. And guys, there is something happening this weekend on Table Rock Lake that I'm just disgusted about. You probably will too after you hear about this. This is a big problem we're having across the country right now, and we're going to dig into that in today's video, and definitely look forward to getting everybody's comments with that as we get into the video here. Also, guys, thank you very much out there. Everybody, last night we had our third live stream of the year, my private live stream for channel members and Patreon members. This has had a great time with this, man. I'm really looking forward to doing these once a week. If you guys would like to join us every week for the private live stream, all you have to do is become an Intuitive Angling channel member or a Patreon member. And how you do that is just go to the homepage here of Intuitive Angling. You can click on the join button for membership options, or you can go to my video description. Any video I do, I got the Patreon description in there. Just join as a Patreon member, and you can be part of that live stream. So appreciate that. And thank you guys for everybody that's taking time to support the channel through all those ways. We have the links in the video descriptions and subscribing. Really appreciate that for me and my family there. Okay, I did a Facebook post on this yesterday, and I want to follow it up with a YouTube video. This weekend on Table Rock Lake, there is like a 500 boat big bass tournament. So somebody's putting on a big bass tournament. There's a high school tournament that they're expecting over 300 boats in it. There's 2 or 3 other smaller circuits that are having tournaments throughout the lake, and there's club tournaments going on. There's probably 4 or 5 different club tournaments on the lake. So all in total, this is going to have probably over 1,000 tournament boats on the lake this weekend. And that's not including the far more than that's going to be out there for just recreational fishing. It's going to be around the first part of April. Everybody's getting out. It's going to be a freaking zoo. And I want to talk about the complete irresponsibility of, I'm assuming it's the Missouri Department, the Missouri Highway Department, or the Missouri Water Patrol. I'm not exactly sure who issues these permits, but from the research I've done in there, a lot of it says that the Missouri Highway Patrol and the Lake Patrol are the ones that issue permits. There's probably some other agencies that they work with. But guys, whoever issues these permits, I don't care who it is, if it's part of the Highway Patrol or whatever like that, that is probably one of the most irresponsible, inept decisions I have heard anyone make. And I would like to talk. In fact, I probably will try to get a hold of the individual that made this decision to sign off on 1,000 tournament boats on Table Rock Lake, because it's a bunch of bullshit. It's absolutely ridiculous that we have 365 days a year to schedule these tournaments out, and they lump up 1,000 boats on one weekend in April. It's stupid. On top of that, there's the whole conservation issues. Like, these bass on Table Rock Lake are right on the verge of spawning right now. So you put 1,000 tournament boats out there and all the other recreational fishermen that are out there on top of these fish getting ready to spawn. That's another prime example of an irresponsible, inept move towards conservation on our lakes and fisheries across the country. I've always said it, guys, that, I've been very critical of tournaments, and the critical aspect I have in tournaments is the scheduling, and the other part of it is scheduling these tournaments on top of the bed fishing tournaments. And I am totally against scheduling tournaments in and around the spawn. And a lot of people say, "Oh, Randy, you're part of the problem. You fish during the spawn." That's because we got to. That's like saying that. Oh, that's like saying if you go to your work or something, you're not gonna go into work because your boss did something that you didn't like that day, so you're just gonna stay home. We got to go where they schedule the tournaments out. We can voice our opposition against it. But this is one of the continuing problems of tournament organizers. And this is a tournament organizer problem. The people that set the schedules, is they ought to have the intelligence to say, look, okay, where is the prime spawning period during these tournaments? It's like here in Missouri, the bass spawn in April. If you're down in Texas, probably March. If you're up north, maybe May. But there is generally a window of about a month, give or take, based upon weather patterns, that the majority of the bass are spawning. Not all of them, but the majority of them. And these tournament directors should look at that wherever they're scheduling a tournament and say, hey, we're not going to put our tournament down here at Table Rock Lake in April because all these fish are going to be on the beds, and we want to ensure a good spawn for the future sustainability of our sport, so we're not going to put our tournaments on top of that. They don't do that, guys. If it's out of ignorance or if it's out of greed or a combination of the two, I'm not sure what it is, but it happens over and over and over again. But here's the thing about it. 2 years ago, this same thing happened. Some of these big bass tournaments, guys, are some of the worst things we have for the sport. I'm not saying the tournament per se, but I'm saying these big bass tournaments, they let way too many boats on them. They should cap them like at 150 boats or something like that. There's some of them that'll have thousands of boats on the lakes. It's greed. There's nothing more about that. But anyway, 2 years ago, the same deal. There was some KBD big bass tournament or whatever, and there was a bunch of other tournaments going on. We had a BFL down there, over 1,000 boats on the lake. We were getting ready to take off that morning of our BFL tournament, and they came on the loudspeaker, and it was barely daylight out, and they said there'd already been a boat wreck. So from a safety standpoint, the ignorance behind scheduling this many tournaments on one lake are the same. Now, I've done some videos like this before, and inevitably, I hear back from you guys the same thing. All you dudes out there that fish Gunnersville or Rayburn or whatever, you tell me we have the same. You guys say we got the same problem over there. It's stupid. There's no reason for it. And the people in positions of power, whether it be the highway patrol in the states or the lake patrol or whatever agency that governs permits, these are some of the most inept people that just don't give a crap. I don't know if it's the fact that they don't care, if they're apathetic, if they're ignorant, if they're greedy, if it's a combination of the whole thing. But we have got to put people in positions of power within those permit regulatory bodies that do the right thing. And just like this past weekend, if you got the big bass tournament and you got the high school tournament and you got this and that, they should have said, okay, you're not going to have this big bass tournament this weekend because we've got the 400 high schoolers here. You're going to have it, a month from now, or you should have scheduled it a month before that. Every tournament out there, they should have to file some type of an application over a year in advance to have a tournament. And then the people that regulate and set these permits that they need to create a schedule. Some people may have to have their tournament in November. Some people may have to have their tournament in, first part of February, whatever that you have. But it can be made where we don't have this type of pressure on the lakes. That's not good for anything. Not only is it bad for the fish and the fishery and the safety of the anglers in there, but just the fact that you have to deal with that many boats on a lake, in a tournament setting. It's like it sucks to be a tournament angler. Every place you go is covered up. Every point you go to has a boat on it. And then again, you've got the recreational anglers. So prime example this weekend, you're going to have, 1,000 tournament boats on Table Rock Lake. You're going to have 1,000 recreational bass fishermen at least out there. Half of them are going to be keeping and eating the bass. The other half are going to be, pulling them off beds or foul hooking them or something like that, or catching them with live scope and have delayed mortality. It basically winds up to a massive fish kill. You can't tell me when you've got 1,000 tournament boats on the lake that there's not going to be a tremendous amount of bass killed from that. So it's very easy to fix this. This is an easy fix. This isn't rocket science. All it is a scheduling issue. All it is the people that set these permits have got to do the right things. And it goes back to the same thing that I've always said, guys. We need a regulatory body in this country for bass fishing tournaments that set rules and set guidelines for everyone to follow. And whatever it takes to create that body, it needs to do that. I mean, if I was like a United States senator or a congressman, I would put a bill up before Congress to say that, look, these bass tournaments they're getting to be all over the place. There's, you got hundreds of thousands of people that participate in it. We have got to have a regulatory body where it's not just the Wild West out there for not only safety issues, but the sustainability of the sport, for the conservation part of the fishing. And right now we don't have it. Like I said, it's just no holds barred more than anything. Same thing like it down at Grand Lake in Oklahoma, guys. It's like all the people that issue permits on Grand Lake, they don't give a crap. All they want to do is have more money come into Grove, Oklahoma. That Wolf Creek facility that they put in there down there freaking destroyed that lake. And don't get me wrong, there's fish are still going to be caught, especially this time of year. This is the best time of year to fish. There's going to be more fish caught this time of year. But that, again, that is just because so many of the quality fish are up shallow in March and April. But anyway, guys, just wanted to throw that out there. Let me know what you guys think about it. Shoot me some experiences you've had, and hopefully we'll continue bringing this stuff to light and get rid of this problem, get rid of the whole forward-facing sonar bullshit problem, get rid of all the stuff that's threatening the sustainability of our sport so we can hand it off to the next generation intact. And I can tell you right now, guys, we suck at stewards of the sport right now. We do not have people in positions of power that know what the hell they're doing. Our job, every angler's job, especially as you get older, your primary focus should be handing this sport off better than you found it to the next generation for the sustainability reason. And we don't right now. We are going down the freaking toilet on every metric as far as the sustainability of the sport, and it pisses me off. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about it. Appreciate it. We'll talk later.